bang! Riot police come in, backflips over all the bullets, boom, shoots, I jump on the missile, glide home.
As of September 2025, there have been over 2,400 unique skins released in the popular Battle Royale video game, Fortnite. Out of all those skins, I found 15 punk-inspired characters to scrutinize for your entertainment. Since my main channel revolves around this particular subculture, I guess that makes me the most perfectly suited creator to make this video criticizing these outfits. I also studied character design in animation school like 2 decades ago, so this is undoubtedly a job for the platform's most ruthless gatekeeper. My name is Dan Frampton. Let's open up this mosh pit to see how well Fortnite understood their punk rock assignment. I don't want to dive into these character designs and rip them apart without structure though. I'm not a monster. In order to come up with a fair rating system of each of these character models, I've devised a system called the C-Score, built on 5 specific criteria. Each criteria starts with the letter C, hence the term C-Score. I'll be looking at creativity, culture, coolness, cohesion, and collectability. And I understand that not everybody watching understands deeply and are familiar with all the intricacies of punk rock culture. But I'll be using the word punk as an umbrella term for punk rock, emo, goth, and anything halfway alternative or core.
I'm running over, I've got the manager by the scruff of the neck, I've gone, give me my f***ing chips.
The first skin I want to show you is this dude named Riot. He looks like exactly what you would picture if you thought of a generic punk rocker. Pink mohawk, studded leather vest, plaid pants, and crude tattoos. Because of how boilerplate all that is, I can't give a point for creativity, but where I can give a full point is for culture. I love the way the back patch on this vest is just safety pinned on there. This minor detail adds so much credibility. Hey look, another C. I also love the patchwork tattoos of a boot, mouth, lightning bolt, and buzzard. Very cool looking. But the arm tattoos aren't nearly as cool as the spider web stretching up from the right pec onto the neck. Full points for coolness and culture. I'll also give it full marks for cohesion with how well the plaid pants, boots, straps, and shin guards pull the outfit together as something to be worn on a battlefield somewhere. Riot was one of Fortnite's first punk skins, being released back in November of 2018. That alone makes him collectible. So right off the bat, we're cooking beef. Riot gets a massive C-score of 4 out of 5. Next up, let's take a look at Power Chord. Yeah, her name is Power Chord, like the kinds of chords you play on a guitar when you're playing punk rock music. She was released alongside Riot as part of the Volume 11 set, and immediately I'll tell you I do not like this skin nearly as much. I'm just gonna rate the base skin here, even though I love the detail of changing the band shirt with each reskin of the same character. But for this one, it's just flat out not cool. As far as creativity is concerned, I gotta say, it looks just like a mishmash of random punk elements. When I look at this skin through the culture lens, I gotta say that haircut, makeup, and torn shirt work for me, but I hate the pants, so I'm gonna give her design a half point for culture. But nothing I see here is cohesive in the slightest, and I do not want this skin in my collection, even though it's just as vintage as Riot. So alongside her awful name, I gotta give Power Chord an equally abysmal C-score rating of 0.5 out of 5. Absolutely horrendous. Next up is just a guy named Punk, and there's nothing punk about him. Why did you name him Punk? Just give me CM Punk and call it a day. 0 out of 5. Get this pumpkin spice basic B off my computer monitor, s'il vous plaît. Thank you. Oh god, I swear there are cool designs coming up, but Punk Princess Phaedra is not one of them. Certainly. She's the game's newest punk skin as of recording this video, and it's got me asking, what the hell are these assless chaps? Why are they furry? Why are there shoe spikes? I crashed out over the shoe spikes found on Squirrel Girl's punk costume in Marvel Rivals, and now we're back here to wrestle them all over again. Shoe spikes do not exist. What the f are shoe spikes? I hate the legs of this design so much, but we will pick up points for coolness and culture when we look at the upper body, especially for the septum ring and spiked choker. The hair and makeup look sick too, but nothing really comes together in this look to create something collectible. I give Punk Princess Phaedra a punk rock C score of 2 out of 5. Back in February of this year, the game gave us Bonejamin as part of the Punk is Dead set. I gotta say, I love those names. And because Punk is dead, so is Bonejamin. He's got like Goku hair and 3D glasses on top of his literal skeleton head, which also sport braces across his teeth. By the way, I can tell he's a gamer because of his sick Game Boy style necklace, but not actually Game Boy, just Game Boy inspired. Don't sue him, Nintendo. The long sleeve shirt under the crop top looks so sick too. Bonejamin might not scream punk rock to you, but to me, through my eyes, he's 1,000,000% a metalcore kid. Chunky skate shoes and Jankos and all. This guy loves Atreyu and Zayu with maybe a little bit of Converge thrown in there. I think the braces are clever, the outfit is cool, and he looks like he sings for a band that I would hate. But I'm not necessarily left with the feeling of FOMO not having him in my skin collection. With all that being said, I give Bonejamin a C score of 4.5 out of 5. Very solid, almost perfect. Bonejamin. First, there was Power Chord. Then we had Punk Princess. What if we just combined those names in the laziest way ever to create a character called Power Punk? Boom. There she is, and already she's 100 times cooler than those other two characters combined. Even though her name is whack, Power Punk looks incredible. Power Punk is a 5 out of 5 skin. Allow me to explain. First off, that jacket kicks ass. The cut and placement of the studs, pins, and zippers looks like it was ripped directly from a show at CBGB's in the late 1980s. The back patch and band name stencil are such solid details across the back. I especially love how you can see the crude stitching on the patch. I normally go in on the overusage of spikes that developers tend to lean on as a punk crutch when they're trying to punk up a character. But in this case, they're all done very tastefully and very well. I've seen hair elastics like that out in the wild. Dog collars like this exist, exactly like the ones you see here, IRL. The spikes on the arm look intentional and not just randomly jammed in there. The belt strap gimmick just gives the character a one-of-a-kind vibe that I really like. The cropped band tee under the vest looks like a portion of an actual 90s underground snotcore band. Leggings being layered with fishnets under the cutoff jorts is just about as iconic of a punk rock look as you can get. Then we get to the feet. You might be thinking, iridescent boots don't really seem overly cohesive, Mr. Punk Rock Critic. But to that I say, yes they do! Yes they do! You're wrong! Shut up! I'm right! Just kidding, just kidding. You're a sweetheart, but let me explain. These boots are amazing, and it shows that the person that designed the character lived a portion of their life part of the scene somewhere, at least tangentially. These kinds of boots definitely do be out there. Maybe one's not quite as video gamey as the ones here, but in my opinion, they make the design so much more visually appealing. Powerpunk dropped in March of 2025, and I'm already filled with deep remorse that I can't get a victory royale and drop a sick emote on some noobs as this character. Next up, Hobie Brown, also known as Spider-Punk. Everything I said about Power-Punk, copy and paste here, except for Spider-Punk, is even better. Spider-Punk breaks my entire rating system. He goes beyond Fortnite design. This character design is just an all-time goated character design in terms of all of human history. I want to focus on the Fortnite bubble, and I feel it's unfair to rank this design among Fortnite skins. Hobie Brown is in a class all to himself. Moving on, we got Drop D. She's named after a guitar tuning used to play heavier styles of punk rock and metal music. Her set was called Opening Acts, and it's a shockingly appropriate name as she looks like she's part of an opening act. Everything about her screams, "You're such a big poser" to me, especially the Paul Stanley-esque star painted over her eye. To me, this look comes off as rather bargain basement and doesn't seem like much of a love letter to the culture as Power-Punk does. The boots and the clam diggers clash in the most unappealing of ways, and the double wallet chain just seems like total overkill. The slogan on the shirt, "Don't talk to me," is the kind of forced brattiness I come to expect off the Walmart girls section. Posers really do exist out there in the real world though, so as far as culture is concerned, Drop D scores very well. Unfortunately for her though, everywhere else, not so much, so I'm giving her a 1 out of 5. Wasteland Dummy is a punk rock icon, a symbol of the revolution. 4.25 stars out of 5. Ringmaster Scarr is a Mad Maxian race referee type. The hair and glasses are cool and all, but this look is just way too show business to be punk. The sequins on the vest kill it for me. She seems more like a game show host than a punk rocker. Very Chris Jericho, 2 out of 5. Dude, next up we got my favorite skin. This is another 5 out of 5 look over here. Take a peek at Meow Skulls. Meow Skulls is the most emo character I have ever encountered in a video game, and the details that pull it off are so clever. In particular, the skinny jeans that have pockets that aren't deep enough to fit your phone. Amazing. This detail is so realistic that I'm sure the person that designed it had more than just a passing interest in the culture. This person wore pants like this before, probably in the year 2012 or 2013. Where even more creativity comes in is the use of the fish spine as the wallet chain. This is just great characterization. He is a cat after all. Also, note the tuna cans as pouches on his fanny pack that's worn across his body. That ties together the realness of the culture and the creativity of using his character to inform the design choices. Spectacular work over here, whoever did this. The graphic tee he's wearing is actually a ripped hoodie with fishing hooks pierced through one of the sleeves. Unreal details here, bro. Especially with the striped long sleeve underneath. Chef's kiss. Absolute perfection. And then don't even get me started on the beanie, earring, and stoned eyes combo. Meow Skulls is the f***ing man. 5 out of 5. Easy. Moving on, Helsie is as much of a mall goth as I've ever seen. Oversized tee as a dress, black hair with red and green highlights, fishnets, and chunky shoes. Very stereotypical mall goth over here. Can't say I really want this one in my collection, but she does seem to be inspired by real mall goths. She scores decently for cohesion, culture, and creativity, but lacks the collectability and coolness to push this design past mid. I'm giving Helsie a C score of 2.5 out of 5. Here comes another one with punk right in the name. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Moon Punk. This goth comes across way less mall gothy than the previous skin. Moonpunk kinda seems like a goth superhero of some kind. This design is as cohesive as a motherfucker, I tell you what. It almost seems too basic at first glance, but the devil is in the details with this one. The beanie low pony combo is very true to life. I love the color of the hair and how it contrasts subtly with the beanie. Separating the hair from the beanie, we got a moon logo placed over one of the eyes. It throws off the perfect symmetry, but that makes the design much more visually interesting. I love how the whites of the eyes are yellow, giving this design kind of a fantasy novel werewolf kind of vibe. The only other pops in color are purple, with a little orange in there to bring the color palette to life. I really dig how all the elements used are so simple, but the finished product is so strong. That of like a superhero werewolf. Moonpunk scores well everywhere except for collectability for me. I'm giving this design a 4 out of 5. I saved the second most emo character for second to last. Here's our penultimate skin. Here's Halley. We get kind of a modern e-girl take on the classic emo girl look here. The hoodie being worn up scores well with me, as does the oversized leather jacket. I'm not in love with the pink highlights on the jacket. I feel like if the pinks were off the jacket, then maybe the pinks in the hair would pop out a little bit more. But because the pink highlights run head to toe, I will score it well for cohesion as well. The detail of the cat logo on the side of the jacket and the XO on the back of the hood are really nice touches as well. Really well designed character over here, 3 3/4 stars. And finally, we have this fella that goes by the name Grind. You might be thinking, yo, he looks more hip hop than punk. And you might be right. But to my eyes, I see a straight up New York hardcore brute. The f***ing guy looks like he goes to Pain of Truth shows and is 7 months behind on his child support payments. Grind looks like he was straight edge until he was caught. Kind of thing. He's an emotionally stunted, out of work tough guy who spends what money he does have on Nike stuff and band merch. He claims to be the best mosher in the scene, but the moment he gets crowd killed, he cries and plays the victim. I know this dude anywhere. I hate him. But as far as the design goes, it's not creative or cool, nor is it collectible. I'll give strong points for culture and cohesion though. So the highest I can go for Grind is about a 2 out of 5. Individually, that is how all the skins broke down. But if we want to see how well Fortnite did as a whole, we have to do a little bit more math here. Out of these 15 skins, only 7 of them scored higher than a 3 out of 5. Spider-Punk doesn't count, so that brings it to 7 out of 14. In my world, that's 50-50. But in my opinion, there were enough really strong marks, 4s and 5s out there, to push this thing forward. So in conclusion, Fortnite did better with their punk rock homework than Marvel rivals did. Meow Skulls, Power Punk, and Bonejamin really gave it the edge. Did I miss your favorite punk character? Let me know down there in the comments. What game's punk design should I scrutinize next? All feedback welcome. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.